Meanwhile, vaccine maker AstraZeneca is suffering one setback after another. Last year, before the global vaccine rollout, the world was betting big on the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine. But now, one of the biggest buyers of this vaccine is dumping it. The European Union will not buy more vaccines from AstraZeneca beyond the current order that ends in June. Our next report tells you why Europe is dumping what was once called the most promising vaccine of this pandemic.
It was a troubled relationship from the word go. But now it is edging closer to a breakup. The European Union is turning away from AstraZeneca's Wuhan virus vaccine. The bloc had placed orders till June, and that's where it will end. Europe will not renew the deal with AstraZeneca. French President Emmanuel Macron says the EU has better options to consider.
Who could have known last autumn which vaccine would work or not? I think it was a good policy to buy as many vaccines with all the solutions possible, which most other countries and world powers have done. We had to buy mRNA, adenovirus, protein subunit, so we got everything that was available because no one knew what would work. We now have feedback. We use this vaccine in France and in Europe, and we must continue to do so because it will help us get out of this crisis. But to combat the variants on future orders, we see that other vaccines are more efficient. So this shows European pragmatism, which I am proud of.
The French president is talking about Pfizer. The EU recently struck a deal to buy more than 1 billion doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine. When the pandemic began, the European Union was betting on the AstraZeneca shot to vaccinate more than 400 million citizens. But now it has switched to Pfizer.
I was glad that I could announce that we now concluded the negotiations with BioNTech Pfizer for a new contract. A new contract looking forward to the years 22 and 23. The new contract secures 1.8 billion doses of vaccines.
Needless to say, that's bad news for AstraZeneca, and only the latest in a string of setbacks. Denmark had already stopped using the shot after some patients developed rare blood clots. Since then, Europeans have either limited the use of this vaccine or stopped administering it altogether. Sweden donated its stockpile of 1 million AstraZeneca vaccines to COVAX. That's the WHO's program for equitable global access for vaccines. For AstraZeneca, the final blow came from Norway. Oslo, too, has suspended the use of this vaccine. But well before the cases of blood clots emerged, AstraZeneca and the European Union engaged in a public spat. The European leadership blamed the company for its slow vaccine rollout. It claimed that in the first 3 months of 2021, AstraZeneca delivered just 30 million shots out of the promised 90 million. In the second quarter, AstraZeneca could deliver only 70 million out of the promised 180 million doses. The tussle ultimately led to a raid by the Italian police on an AstraZeneca facility outside Rome. The European Union followed this up with a lawsuit against the company. What has happened in Europe could be the beginning of a storm for AstraZeneca. The United Kingdom has tweaked its advisory. British experts now say the shot shouldn't be given to people under 40 years of age. Canada, too, has limited use of the shot. Last week, an expert panel said that Pfizer and Moderna vaccines should be the go-to choice for Canada. When the AstraZeneca jab was rolled out, it was one of the world's most promising shots, because of its high efficacy and low prices. 6 months on, it is not the West's favorite shot. Blame it on pharma wars. Or rich countries being spoiled for choice. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.